Okay, I can't believe this is happening to me. Somebody's coming to get me. They said I tested positive, but they let me leave the hotel. They literally said pack a bag because somebody's coming to get you. Like, now Ross is calling me saying that if I don't contact them back, it's a criminal matter. Like, what is... I literally...
I don't have any words, but I could just cry right now.
You have no idea how big of a moment this was for me. Oh my god. You don't even know what this feels like to not be here for 9-10 months and then be back. And it's just so crazy because, like, look at my calendar. I thought I was literally going to be back a few days later. To my surprise, 9 months go by. And here I am again, hamper full of dirty laundry. Wow, this is so... I'm so happy. Okay, I can't believe this is happening to me. I don't know, I'm getting ready to go out and get dinner with all my friends. We're all so happy. All of a sudden I'm getting bombarded with phone calls, nonstop. Somebody's coming to get me. They said I tested positive, but they let me leave the hotel. And now I have to go to some mysterious isolation place. I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening. Like, why did they even let me leave? I had literally checked out. I've been here at home for like 3-4 hours. Having the time of my life. And they said I'm positive. I said there's no way. Like, none of the people I'm quarantining with are positive, so why am I positive? It's clearly a mistake. I said let me get tested. They literally said pack a bag because somebody's coming to get you. Like, 4 different phone numbers calling me. I'm calling back every single person. Now Ross is calling me saying that if I don't contact them back, it's a criminal matter. Like, what is... I literally... The next time you guys see me, literally might be behind St. Kitts bars. Okay, probably dramatic, but either way. Yes?
That's me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your COVID test.
Okay.
That the test results would have returned positive
Yeah.
for COVID-19.
Yeah.
But we will have to basically put you into isolation. Security station outside there, 24 hours a day
Okay.
for the period until you recover.
Okay.
Alright? But that will come at a cost to you. It's going to be $20 an hour.
Okay, so you're probably wondering what's happening, right? Like, how did I get here? The last video I posted 3 months ago, I showed you guys me getting tested to come back to Island, quarantining at the Royal, stuff like that. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Our 14 days of quarantine are up, and me and my 3 friends go get tested bright and early in the morning, and then we're sitting around in the hotel waiting to get a call back that we're good to go. Finally, around like 4 p.m., we get a call saying room 103, you're good to go. We go down to the lobby and I pay for my bill with my card. So they saw and heard my name a few times while looking up my bill, getting handed my card, etc. So, you know, if there was a reason for me not to leave, it should have been discovered then. But I pay, security cuts off our wristbands that identifies us as quarantiners, and we leave. I'm in the car smiling. I'm so happy to be back. You know, I love this island. We get home, I start throwing away all the food that's been sitting for the past 9-10 months. I hire a cleaning lady to deep clean my apartment. Everything is going great. All of a sudden, around 8:20ish p.m., I get 2 phone calls from numbers I don't know. And I don't answer because 1, I don't know who you are, and 2, everybody who calls me knows to only call me on WhatsApp because calling me on my phone costs money. So whatever, I keep getting ready, and then I get more calls. All calls from different numbers. and then Facebook messages from people I don't know. I'm starting to freak out because I'm like, what the heck is happening? Why am I getting blown up? I start trying to call people back and message them, but different numbers keep calling me at the same time, interrupting the text or the phone call. And I'm answering like, hello, who is this? And they're like, Ashley Vassal? I'm like, yes. They're like, you left the hotel and your results are pending. I'm like, how was I supposed to know that? They told me I was good to go. Another person calls, Ashley, why aren't you answering so-and-so's calls? I'm like, I just got off the phone with them. They're like, well, that's not what I was told. I'm like, I don't know what the heck is happening. And clearly no one else does either. Then someone else calls me, Ashley, you're positive. I'm confused because 60 seconds ago, I was pending, and 3 hours ago, I was good to go. Someone else calls me and they're like, a police officer's coming to get you. Pack your bags. I'm like, where am I going? They're like, we don't know that yet. Bro, what? And then the admin from Ross University starts emailing me. Hi, the Royal contacted us. You need to call them back ASAP. Then Ross admin starts texting and calling me and my friends. The university, the whole reason I came back to Ireland, are contacting me and my friends, making accusations. One of the faculty members accused us of just leaving on our own. Another faculty member didn't believe that I was calling people back. Bro, what? Like, if I am in trouble in another country, I would have expected at the least the university I pay to go to contact me and ask, hey, are you okay? You need any help? What is going on? Then the police arrive at my door, and at this point I'm in shock. And I'm recording everything, including phone calls, because I trust no one at this point. When just a few hours ago I was given the okay. So I'm thinking, all right, I better start documenting evidence. So the police just left and they said I'm the 36th case of COVID on island. I promise you, I don't have COVID. I know this is a mistake. I have no problem with the protocol that St. Kitts takes to ensure that this island is nearly COVID-free. I have no problem that I might be the 36th case. I have a problem that they told me I could leave the hotel. I left the hotel. All of a sudden, my phone is getting blown up, bombarded. I'm getting threatened that I might get criminal charges. Like, the way this was executed was so poor. The fact that they let me leave. Yeah, the rest, like, I understand mistakes happen, but the way that this is all being handled is terrible. And it's literally almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm kind of irritated I don't have any food. Yeah, I have no food, no water, no nothing, and I can't leave. And the police kept banging on my door that by the time I finally went inside to order delivery, everything had closed. And I hadn't eaten since like 2 p.m. I understand that. Quick, I need to get a hold of her because we don't want her possibly spreading a disease. Totally fine, understandable. It all is just happening really fast. I feel like I have every right to be upset. No one's taking accountability. Nobody's apologizing. And multiple people had to do something wrong for me to get in this place. So I'm just gonna update you guys tomorrow because I'm having a hard time. I just keep recording and rephrasing what is happening because I know that the shock is going to get to me and I'm going to forget details. And I can't forget anything because what if this all goes bad? Like, I really have no idea what I'm up against here. So right now, you guys are just seeing me doing my best to summarize everything and try and form a coherent sentence. And I'm glad I did because honestly, I woke up the next day thinking everything was just a really bad dream. Yes.
Do you have anyone else in the room with you?
What?
Do you have anyone else staying with you?
No.
Are you sure that this is your alone that's staying here?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Alright, actually you will receive information. There's another student living here with you.
In March.
Huh?
In March.
In March.
Yeah. She's not coming now.
She's coming in March?
Yeah.
You sure, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm 100% positive.
Respectfully, Ashley, again, I'm going to ask you for final time. Is there another student staying with you?
No. Why would I make that? So then the officers come back again, this time asking me if someone's living with me. I say no, and this back forth goes on for a while, where they don't believe that someone doesn't live with me right now. I'm like, okay, who told you that? They're like, Ashley, you know we can't reveal that information. What would I gain from hiding a person? And what would that person gain from hiding when there's gonna be 24/7 security outside my apartment? I'm just recording this video. I just want to show you guys how bad this is. I just finished crying and I can't even believe that I'm admitting this on YouTube that I just finished crying. But I don't even know what to say. I'm all by myself. Nobody is even considering the chance that it's a false positive, even though 3 of my roommates that I just lived with for the past 2 weeks are negative. I was literally sleeping next to one of them for 2 weeks, who's also immunocompromised. So if I had COVID, I think she would have had it by now. So at this point, I'm doing really bad now. My AC is broken, my Wi-Fi isn't really working. I'm having a hard time getting groceries delivered. Nobody's really responding to me about getting retested, even though they said that they were gonna do it Sunday, and then Sunday passed and they said they're gonna do it Monday. Now it's 7 p.m. Monday, still nothing. No one is even really entirely communicating with me what is going on when this whole thing has to do with me. I just found out that the taxi driver, my cleaning lady, and according to the general manager at the Royal, anybody else who came into contact with me gets to quarantine there for free, which makes sense, but what about the people that were directly affected? I try to contact the general manager, someone who I think is a professional adult, as you would think someone would be with the title general manager, but he just starts making accusations at me. The general manager said that he watched my last YouTube video twice and asks me if I even got an RT-PCR test. But if you watch that video, and if you did watch it twice, then you'd see that I show my screen and my test result, and it says RT-PCR. He then accuses me of how I even entered this country. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of pointing fingers, trying to save his butt and steer everything away from them and all at me. Then he says to me, how are you gonna take accountability? I have to go through all the security footage now and see which one of my staff members you made contact with. Sir, I'm really not sure why he's informing me of the job he is required to do. Maybe it's to make me feel guilty, not entirely sure, not what I was asking of him. Then asking me what I'm taking responsibility for. I don't know, what should I be taking responsibility for? The fact that I foolishly chose to pay $1,000 to quarantine at that hotel? Clearly a location that people shouldn't be quarantining at. This grown man with a high position of power at a business is accusing me of all of these things, clearly because he's scared, because he doesn't want this responsibility on his shoulders. How can this place claim to be a COVID quarantine center approved by the government when they make mistakes and then refuse to take complete accountability? And you know what's wild? During that time that I was staying at the Royal, one of their security guards, who wasn't in any type of uniform, pulled a gun on this girl's dog because it was barking. And of course they handled that poorly too, saying, well, he's just afraid of dogs. Like, this place is a mess. And this is just the stuff that I witnessed when I was staying there. Who knows what else was going on at that hotel? All they want to do is just blame the victim. The fact that everybody knows the Royal is to blame except for the Royal is... The funny thing is he's watching my YouTube video and looking for a way to point the blame at me. That's what's the best part. He's watching me on YouTube to try and find a way to say she got COVID here or there, and then she brought it to our hotel and she snuck into the country and she did wrong things. You told me I could leave, and I left. And I wasn't running out the door, I took my time, so... Happy Tuesday! And you know what's happening today? I'm being retested. So did you do anything fun today? I didn't hear you doing any jump roping yet. Oh, off day, okay, that's good. Well, guess who's negative? It's me. I'm negative, and I'm going to leave now. I'm going to leave, you can watch. I got 2 negative test results back to back, and I'm leaving. I really thought that I was on the way to brighter days, but now I'm using the emergency water to wash my face. So pretty much the people upstairs have to quarantine even though I'm negative because they were exposed to me. Since they're quarantining and being isolated, nobody can go up there. And today their pipe burst. Actually tonight, like at 11:30, their pipe burst. So they had to shut off the water to the whole building because their apartment was flooding. So I don't have any water, and I don't even know if it can be fixed because it's not like somebody can go in there and fix it when they're isolating, so here I am. I just feel like this is like a never-ending bad dream at this point. I just don't even, I just can't. I just want it to be over. I just want to be happy. A pipe bursts upstairs and their apartment is flooding with water, and now the whole building has no water. Finally, the pipe did get fixed because some people came to the apartment in hazmat suits. So in total, I quarantined for 3 weeks, and it really took a toll on my mental state because I had to constantly be texting, calling, or emailing somebody that would listen, trying to get some sort of assistance and advocate for me and my 3 friends. Even going as far to reach out to my state representative, contacting local petition lawyers. Then I'm seeing locals post theories online about who he or she is, what he or she did, if this whole thing is just a conspiracy. It was draining and made it really hard to focus on school, which was the whole reason I came back. Every day, people would call me to repeat the story about where I was and who I was with, just making me relive the whole sequence of events. Trying to see if my story stayed consistent in case I was lying. Asking if I've had symptoms when I've been entirely healthy this whole time. The school let me be exempt for 1 weekly block, but I was still struggling. My grades went down, and honestly, it's a blessing that I passed this semester. I had trouble sleeping because I was scared that I was gonna miss someone standing outside of my door waiting to test me. So I would just sleep like a couple hours a day. I don't know how many times I had to emphasize that I am just a student. I came here for one thing, to study. And I just know that I would not have experienced any of this stress if the Royal just did their job. If they had just informed me that I was pending or positive while I was there and have us continue our stay until I could get retested. I wouldn't have had to deal with the government, broken AC, poor Wi-Fi, or no food or water. I wouldn't have struggled to get another COVID test since they come to the hotel all the time, or any of the other things that I dealt with. If they just did what they said they were gonna do when I signed that contract to quarantine at their hotel. But they told me to leave, and they were willing to help everyone that was affected except for me, the person that was directly affected. I could have done more. I could have contacted whoever is above the general manager. Also, really unfortunate that I have to think about going to such extremes just to get fair treatment when the Royal didn't even follow their own protocol. It was just such an emotional roller coaster. Then, my friends were told that they were not allowed to get tested the same time that I was getting tested, and that they had to wait out the full 2 weeks, which didn't make sense to me because now we're all stuck paying for this 24-hour security guard that we easily could have avoided paying an extra week for if they just got tested when I did. The only person through this whole experience that was kind and helpful was the cleaning lady. Someone I had met for the first time that day, and then she got thrown in quarantine because of me. Whenever I contacted the school, all they did was just remind me that I shouldn't have come back on my own. I was probably reminded every single time. Not entirely sure how that can help or provide me any sort of peace of mind. If anything, that just made me feel worse. Like, I had been paying rent on an apartment for the past 9 months. I wasn't just gonna wait for Ross to give me the green light, especially when other people had already come back on their own. That's just a lot of money to be paying when I'm not even living there. I was just hoping that at the least Ross could be some sort of ally. As a student, I assumed the university wanted to be aware of what was going on with their students, especially when there's just an inaccurate version of events that are going around, where in the beginning the administration is making heavy accusations about me and my friends. Ross says, "We can't help and there's nothing we can do." Okay, I look out my window one morning, they're setting up a tent for the police when the police already had a tent. I contact Ross administration, I'm like, why is Ross in my front yard setting up a tent for the police officers? They're like, I have no idea. Like, what is this chaos? Then my friends who are in quarantine go and order food, and the officer searches the bag and confiscates their wine because Ross told them to. First of all, we are all well over 21, and we are all in our own homes. So we're like, call Ross, that makes no sense. They called Ross twice, and both times confirmed that we are not allowed to have alcohol. So I'm confused. Is Ross involved or is Ross not involved? I continue to be pointed towards people that were really not that helpful at all, or they just would not even respond to me. One person is telling me that they can test my viral load. Another person is telling me that's not possible. I never was able to get a consistent story from anyone. And then for some reason, 2 hours into me getting bombarded with the phone calls that first night, locals are already aware of the situation, that a COVID case got out of quarantine and is now loose on island. How could the word have possibly spread that quickly? Because it wasn't me spreading that information. Like, hello, HIPAA? The only people that knew about the situation was the Royal and the government. I asked the Royal General Manager about it, and he just went and blamed the government. I asked the government, and they tell me that they would never do such a thing. So each party is just like pointing fingers at this point. And at the end of the day, my friends and I are the ones suffering. So there you have it. It took me a while to post this, But now everyone finally has the true story. And I recorded everything, all the way down to the phone calls. They even ended up releasing a press statement, which was super vague. And you know, after everything, I didn't mention anybody's name and I hid everyone's faces to keep their identities a secret. I feel like posting this video is just gonna help me move forward, now that the truth is out in the open. So, as always, thanks for watching.